thanks for tuning in. I wanted to remind you of our Road to 1,000 Subscribers giveaway that we have going on our YouTube channel. If you subscribe and have a public profile, you'll be entered to win a free RX Smart Gear original jump rope. You'll get to pick the pattern of the handles, the color and weight of the cable, and you'll be getting one of the best-selling, best-performing jump ropes out there. Every time we hit a new century mark with the number of subscribers to our channel, we'll randomly select a new winner. And our friend Dave Newman is going to throw in a little something extra for each winner. So a special thanks to our sponsor, RX Smart Gear, to Dave Newman for being such a great partner, and to you for being a loyal listener. Good luck, and I hope you are our next winner.
Hey, Paul.
Hi, Scott.
How you doing?
Hi. I'm good. How are you?
Good. This is my co-host, Kat.
Hey.
Oh, great. Hey, Kat.
How you doing?
Great. How are you?
Good.
So as we kind of start this, I need to tell you that you are Kat's favorite CrossFitter ever.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Here we go.
Wow.
And her birthday is Saturday. And So for her birthday, that's why I reached out to you this week, was to get you on kind of as a little birthday gift, so she gets to talk to her favorite CrossFitter.
Yay.
Oh, wow. Well, hey, I don't hear that often anymore. So you know what? I'll take it. Thank you. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
And she's three shades of red darker than normal.
Right. Usually yeah. Our co-host Amy sort of, she's a Con Porter fan. And so when we started the podcast, I actually got Con Porter on sort of as a favor to her as well. So we sort of we're shifting alliances here and trying to figure out like who our favorite athletes are and trying to get them on. But I'm from the East Coast, and I've been to a lot of regionals and super regionals and things like that, and I've always followed your sports career. So.
Oh, cool. Thank you. Con's a good dude too. We did the 2014 Invitational one against each other, right? He was on the Australian team, so we go way back.
Yeah. Well, for our listeners, we have Paul Tremblay with us, 2014 CrossFit Games athlete, and as he mentioned, invitational team member for Canada that same year, and a lot of other accolades. And we're going to get into all of that as we interview you through this process. Cool. But we kind of do like an origin story type podcast. So, did you grow up in Ottawa? I
did. Yeah. Born and raised in Ottawa.
And yeah. you were a hockey player.
Yeah, I mean, loose term, right? Like I played hockey, like a lot of people played hockey growing up. And I played all the way up until I was 21. So I played some junior B here in Ottawa. So yeah, I guess you could call me a hockey player.
So what does junior B mean for us people in the States?
For you in the States, junior B means a couple levels under I'd say the college, or actually the same age as college, but maybe like Div 3, D3 schools.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Like some guys from junior B and junior A go on to play some Div 1 schools. And then even go on to play in the NHL. It's a couple levels under the NHL. That's what I like to tell people.
Oh, good. What position did you play?
I was a center for a long time, and then I ended my career on the left wing. I'm a right shot, and I would play on the left wing, so I would have an off wing shot.
Nice. Yeah, I grew up outside of Pittsburgh, so I'm a big Pittsburgh Penguins fan. And been that way for 30, 40 years now, and love the sport. So
cool. Awesome. Pittsburgh. It's funny. I grew up a Pittsburgh fan as well, because obviously a Mario Lemieux fan. And, I was one of my I guess coolest present that I've ever gotten when I was like 9 years old. And there's a picture of me jumping in the air, and it's like midair in front of the Christmas tree. And it was when I got a Mario Lemieux jersey.
Nice.
And yeah, I still remember that. And that was a huge moment, I guess.
Yeah. He is a god in Pittsburgh because he saved hockey twice.
Exactly.
The team was fledgling, and then he showed up, and they they did great things, and then it was fledgling again, and he bought the team, and now is the owner.
I know,
so,
isn't that crazy? Isn't that nuts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now they're really successful, new arena, and doing great. So
yeah,
awesome. That's awesome. So I also found out that you did another sport before CrossFit, and let me get this right. It is like the Red Bull crashed ice.
That's right.
World Championships. And that is essentially downhill ice skating.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Yeah. That was, well, I mean, I don't think I would call myself a really Red Bull Christ athlete, but I did it a couple of years, and now it's a real kind of world tour, and there's people on the world tour, and they pretty much do this all year round. They have sponsors and all that stuff. I did the World Championship when you could still kind of just walk on, and you would do there were tryouts in individual cities, and it was on a normal rink. So you would just do a practice run, and then they would time your run. You go over obstacles and stuff like that, just on a normal rink. And the fastest people from each city would go to the championship. So luckily I was able to do that a couple times, but I stopped in 2013, and that was insane. Like, I still say to this day, like, some of the craziest adrenaline rushes that I've ever had in my life was Red Bull Crash Ice. Just going, yeah, it's like you said, it's downhill ice cross on skates, hockey equipment, going, full speed into corners, and just praying to God that you don't fall.
I need to find this because it sounds like it would be amazing to watch.
Yeah, I mean, just Google Red Bull Crash Ice. There's so many videos out there, and they always kind of pick the best little clips of people ramming into the boards and stuff like that. But it was dangerous, but it was still pretty safe at the time.
So does one person go at a time, or is it a group altogether?
It's both. So we used to do time trials to figure out like your placing. And then once the time trials were by yourself, and then once you got into the racing rounds, then it was 4 people per race, and that was a different beast.
All right, so let's get into your personal life a little bit.
Yeah.
You have a wife, Sarah.
That's right. Yeah, Sarah.
So when did you guys meet?
Sarah and I met in 2013, December 2013. Actually, we met at the grand opening of my gym. So she was a CrossFitter here in Ottawa, and she went to another gym in town. And then when we opened the gym, we had this big event. We invited Michel Letendre and Simon Paquette at the time, and they came down to do a little throwdown and had some fun for that. And one of our friends knew Sarah, and I had told her, I'm like, this is Pete Shaw's wife, now wife. I told her, I'm like, you got to find me a girlfriend. Like, I'm sick of being single. I'm ready to settle down. And she's like, oh, I went to high school with this girl, and she goes to another gym. I'll invite her to the grand opening. I'm like, do it. So she did, and she came to the grand opening, and that's it.
So you owe it all to Pete Shaw's wife.
That's it. Yeah, and that was part of my wedding speech.
That is great.
Yeah.
And then you guys have had 3 kids since.
Yeah, we didn't mess around. Yeah, we've had 3 kids. She's 25 weeks pregnant as well. So we're expecting our 4th in May. But if you ask her, she would have had kids right when she met me. So I was the one who made her wait. Made her wait 2 years before having kids.
And right now you have 2 boys and a girl?
That's right. Yeah, 2 boys and a girl. Yeah.
Do you know what you're having?
We don't. We found out for the last 3, and then on this one we're like, hey, let's do it. Let's not find out. And I want to have that feeling in the delivery room to just be able to call the sex. All my friends that have had babies who have done that, it's been they always describe that as a really special moment, and kind of hoping to get that.
I can see doing that for number 4, and that you already have one of each, at least one of each. I'm okay with that. I'm usually a control freak, and you kind of need to know, but I get the surprise element of that.
Yeah, I really thought it was going to be harder, to be honest. Like, I thought for sure we were going to give in and we are just going to go and try and find out. But no, it's been funny, and it's been super interesting finding a name, because now for the first three, we knew it was a boy, and then we knew it was a boy, and we always found out. So we knew the name right away. There was no debate. It was just like, hey, we're naming him or her this. And then here we have no idea. Like, we can't figure it out because we don't know if it's a boy or girl. So like, I don't want to say, okay, if it's a boy, we're naming him this, and then almost like kind of be disappointed because I'm getting attached to this name and this idea of a boy. So no name. The baby's going to be born, and then we'll figure it out. We'll have a couple hours to give it a name.
Love it.
Yeah. My wife and I, we fought so long about names. Everyone she came up, I hated. Everyone I came up with, she hated. And then the funny story is it ends up, we named our daughter after the Hooters girl in Adam Sandler's movie, Big Daddy.
Okay. Yeah. Vanessa.
Corinne.
Corinne. Okay. Yeah. Not the Hooters girl during the movie, not at the end there.
Correct.
Versus, yeah. Is it Vanessa? No, Corinne. Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome. Cool.
Yeah. So my daughter, she's 19 now. She tells everybody she's named after a Hooters girl in an Adam Sandler movie.
Yeah, so she's gonna pay herself through med school by working at Hooters, just like Corinne.
Right. And so now I want to go into your kind of your business life, and we're going to get back to the kids in a little bit with some other things, but you worked in finance and banking.
Mm-hmm.
And I've done that job. It's exhilarating. Yeah.
So just to give, I mean, I say finance, like I was in the world of finance. That's what I studied. And I worked for a Crown Corporation here in Ottawa, and it was very entry level. And I was just basically inputting data and into a system and pumping out credit ratings and then sending that off to another team, so it wasn't super interesting and very complicated, but it was a finance job. I wasn't like on Wall Street or anything,
And what did your workout life look like while you were working there?
That's super interesting because that's basically when I found fitness. So fitness in the sense of like, working out to work out, not work out to play hockey, because I feel like those were two different things. When I was younger, I would work out so I could be better at hockey. And when I was done hockey, I was working out because it made me feel good and I wanted to look better. And it was my way of staying healthy, not sport anymore. So, but when I worked at this place, it was EDC. They had a gym downstairs that was only for employees, and it was a great gym, and they actually held classes, and there's like a boot camp and like a core RX and stuff like that. And so I would do group fitness, and I would just instead of just doing my bench press and biceps and triceps, some of the guys that I worked out with down there just egged me on to try some of the group fitness by one of the instructors, and that's when I got to understand that you kind of have to sweat a little bit in the gym to get results instead of just hit the bench press and squat. So and we would just work out every lunch. And one day, one of the guys that I worked out with basically said, like, let's take our workouts to the next level. Have you heard of CrossFit? And I'm like, no, never heard of it. And then the rest is history. We did a CrossFit workout, and that's it.
I heard you did it in a park, right? Like outside, and you used a soccer goal to do pull-ups?
That's it. Yeah. We ran. So the story is, he shows me a picture of the podium of the 2010 CrossFit Games. And he's like, look at these guys. These guys do CrossFit. And boom, I was like, okay, cool. Like, I want to look like these guys. They must be doing something right. So let's try this. And then he sends me the workout that he wants to do right after in an email. And I'm like, there's no way that these guys do this stuff and look like that. And it was Cindy. So we ran to the park. We did 20 minutes of 5 pull-ups, 10 push-ups and 15 air squats. And the pull-ups, we were doing on a little soccer net. And I always say, like, I really wish it was acceptable back then to videotape your workouts, because it wasn't back then. Now it's like, if you don't video your workout, did you actually work out? But because I would love to see my pull-ups back then, and my squats and my push-ups, but it just got me hooked right away. I did that workout because originally I was thinking, hey, what is this? There's no weight. There's no, how is this going to be a workout? It's for 20 minutes. Like, that's it, just 20 minutes. And you quickly realize about 3 or 4 minutes into that workout that you're like, okay, I'm in it, and this is going to be tough. So that's what hooked me right off the bat.
Awesome. I'm sad our other co-host isn't here, because that was her first workout with CrossFit as well.
Yeah.
And we talked about it, I think, a week ago, and she got 4 rounds that first day. And now she can do that in less than 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the beauty of it too. It's in CrossFit, when you're able to just to really gauge your progress that easily, it's just very objective. It's very like, hey, I used to be able to do this. Now I can do double the amount of work in the same amount of time. Like, this just, it's white and black right there. It's just like, I'm getting fitter. I'm getting results from this program. It's just that easy to determine. Right. So that's what's really special.
Yeah. And so what took you from the park? Where did you start doing CrossFit more regularly?
So from the park, my buddy, because we were doing CrossFit workouts, and then he told me that there were CrossFit gyms. So he's like, hey, we could go to a CrossFit gym. We could go and drop in and try out a class on Saturday. And I'm like, there's gyms that do this? Like, how do I not know this? Like, this is amazing. So we went to a CrossFit affiliate. It was on the other side of town, like really, really far, about 20, 30 minutes. And for me, that was far. I'm like, why would I go out there just to do CrossFit? Anyway, so we tried a class, and again, it just kicked my ass. And I did some stuff that I would have never done on my own. And I pushed myself in a way that I would never push myself on my own. So, but it was really far for me. So I went online and I found a CrossFit. I'm like, there's got to be more of these in Ottawa. So I Googled CrossFit gyms near me, and I went to the affiliate right by my house, where I lived. And at the time, that was on the Quebec side, so in Gatineau. And I joined the gym. I just showed up. And I had heard that there was a guy in the city that was like really good at CrossFit. And it just turned out that he was at that gym. And his name's Reza Mashkuri. I ended up opening up a gym with him. But I remember hearing about him, and someone told me he was at that gym. I'm like, okay, well, you know what? That's perfect. Great coincidence. I'll just go to that gym. I'll find this guy and I'll work out with him. And that's when I started going to an affiliate more regularly. I was still working at the time, so I could still use the gym, but I found that the coaching and the more of the community aspect that I found at the gym was just at the affiliate was more than I was getting at work. So that's when I started.
Did you feel it filled the gap from hockey, like that competitiveness and playing a competitive sport?
Well, that's exactly it. It was I was able to bring some competitive components to simply working out. So it was, and honestly, I started that before CrossFit. Like, we would do workouts with my buddies, even at work, and it was always we were always comparing, right? Always comparing, and how much weight did you do here and there. So I already kind of had that competitive aspect, but it was just highlighted in CrossFit, and it was constantly, like, every single workout I was able to compare myself. And that competitive aspect was like, I got my ass kicked in the first couple of weeks of CrossFit, right? Like, and I still, to this day, there's a member of my gym. She's been with us since the beginning. And one of my first workouts that I did was with her, beside her, and she destroyed me. It was a double under workout, and she just smoked me. And she still reminds me of that. Like, I remember when I beat you with that double under workout. And that was, there was like an ego check at the time as well. I was 24 years old. I'm not going to let this, she wasn't old, but older woman beat me, and she did. And that sort of competition, it wasn't just with my buddies anymore. It was like, anybody in this gym right now can give me something to compete with. So that aspect was really special as well. It's like, it could be anybody, and they'll give me a run for my money on something here, or they'll help me push in some way that I didn't think I could do. So, yeah.
And so you mentioned opening a gym with Reza, and how did Pete get involved?
So Pete was with us almost since the beginning. So like Reza and I started the affiliate, and probably about 6 months in, Pete joined as a member. And it was funny because he was kind of shopping around and trying out other affiliates. And his wife was the one who said that they liked us better, which was cool. So she tried out, they would try out every gym together, and then they came to ours, and they just decided to join, right? So from there, Pete was a personal trainer, and he showed an interest right off the bat of wanting to work with us. And obviously his passion for CrossFit was already there, and you could see it already in him. And he just went and got his level 1, I think pretty much without telling us. And then he just got it, and he came back and said, guys, I have my level 1. I'd love to start personal training here if that's all right. And that's how it went. He started personal training, started giving him classes. And Pete was just the type of guy that we didn't have to give him more responsibility for him to take it. So he would just take on projects, take on responsibility, spend so much time at the gym. And he just gave us way more than we were giving him. So it was a no-brainer when it got to the point that to bring him on as an owner. Like the guy treated the gym as his own since the beginning. So it was a smart move. And that was like probably 2016, 2017. Yeah.
Well, I saw a podcast you did where Austin asked you what your biggest pet peeve was. And you said,
really?
and you said that your biggest pet peeve is people giving advice of absolutes.
Yeah.
And Austin said, well, they tell you shouldn't go into business with your friends. And you guys have run a successful business for 7-8 years now as friends. And I just thought that was funny that you said absolutes, because you never know what the situation's going to be, and you never know how you're going to need to handle it until it comes up.
Yeah, absolutely. That's funny you say that. Biggest pet peeve? No, I probably have some bigger pet peeves than that. Maybe in the moment that was it. But like a Starbucks cup that leaks off the side like that, I can't handle. That's my biggest pet peeve. But that probably came about because I always hear people giving business advice, and that's probably one of my biggest pet peeves in the business advice world is the absolutes. And I hear it so often, like, start the gym on your own. Don't go into business with anybody. Then, don't do partnerships. It ends badly, blah, blah, blah. And you hear the horror stories. But, like, there's so many great stories that come out of awesome partnerships, and I don't know how the story ends between Reza, Pete, and myself, but it's been going really, really well. And I could not have done it without them. And vice versa, right? And I had a conversation with an affiliate owner a couple years back here in Ottawa, and we were exchanging ideas. And at the end, he's like, yeah, you know what? You're lucky. You have partners to do this with. I'm by myself. And I'm like, man, unfortunately, that has nothing to do with luck. The luck is that we get along and that we are aligned with the same goals. It was a complete, it was a decision that we made to go into business together. It wasn't luck, I never wanted to start the gym by myself. It was never an idea. I needed to do it with someone because that's just the way that I wanted to do it. So, yeah.
How are the roles delineated between the three of you when it comes to, what are your pockets?
That maybe we're lucky with, because we kind of unofficially just went into certain roles since the beginning. So I looked up to Reza a lot since the beginning in terms of coaching and programming. And, he was in CrossFit before me, and he was a name in CrossFit before I was. So I looked up to him a lot in terms of the coaching aspect. So, probably naturally he fell into that role where he was the head coach, he was the head programmer, and I was more or less the back end side of the business because I had a little bit of a background in it and I could understand and read numbers and do the books. So from that standpoint, that's how it kind of started. And the day-to-day activities at the gym, we would split. We would split unofficially at the beginning, and then it turned into once it started getting blurred and it was gray. That's when we sat down. We're like, okay, what are you doing in the gym? What am I doing in the gym? Let's adjust our salaries accordingly. What are you really good at? What do you enjoy doing? And that's when we really set out the tasks for each of us to do. And obviously it gets even more complicated when we brought Pete on, but we did kind of the same thing. And that's how we split it up. And we revisit that every so often, because we want to stay honest with each other. Like, hey, do you think you're doing more work than you're getting paid for? So we're keeping that open, just to make sure that the tasks are split up evenly, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you're now the largest affiliate in Canada?
Ooh, I don't know. I don't know if we're the largest. There's probably gyms out there that have more members. But I mean, we have, before COVID, we were at like 330, 340 members. Obviously now we're closer to 200. We'll build back up like most affiliates will, but, yeah, we're probably in a large size. Yeah. Of the affiliates.
Yeah. I went on your website and I saw your roster for the Open, and it's pretty hardy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. We have just over 80 people signed up. We're just pushing it really hard, and even when we were closed, we're like, hey, if we're still closed during the Open, whatever, we'll just all do the at-home version or the body weight version. And all the affiliates that I've been talking to that have a big participation already in the Open, it's very simple. It's just buy-in from the owners and the coaches. It's conversations every single day with their members at the whiteboard, virtually or not, of why to do the Open. Why do we need to band together right now more than ever, right? Like, we've been apart for the last year, and obviously, the Open is like the epitome of getting the community together and doing the same workouts and going through the same suffering. So, we're just really proactive. We're talking to our members every single day, shaming them into not signing up or signing up. And, it's so fun. Like, every year, the Open at the gym is just like, it's electric. And we switched from doing the Opens on the Saturday to the Friday night. And that was huge too. And just doing like the Friday night lights, and, you cannot beat the community feeling that you get during the Open at an affiliate. So that's why we push it hard. And we don't even have to convince people. It's like, why should I do the Open? Just trust me. Okay. Just do the Open. You're going to have an absolute blast, and you won't regret it. Just do it.
Yeah. I know our gym pushes it really hard. We had like 170 last year sign up for the Open. And so,
yeah, that's great.
And once they do it, they want to do it every year. We actually split the gym into teams and make it like an internal competition.
Yeah.
And it gets pretty crazy, but it's a blast.
That's a great way to get buy-in as well. And I know some gyms are doing that too. We did that last year, and we didn't do it this year. But no, that was really fun. It created some little banter in between workouts, and yeah, that was cool.
And this year's going to be the most inclusive Open ever. So with the adaptive athletes and.
Yeah, there's oh my God, there's like 16 different categories for the adaptive athletes. There's an intellectual category as well. And obviously the foundations option, the body weight option, like, there's really no excuse this year not to do the Open. So it's we want to make it the largest participatory sporting event in the world, and this is take another step towards that.
We're going to take a short break from our interview to tell you about our newest sponsor, Up Before You Coffee. They are an amazing coffee. It is delicious, has different little notes of chocolate and things like that. And it's really clean and crisp when you drink it in the morning. But they have a light roast. They also have a medium roast, as you can see there. We are so excited about the sponsorship. If you use Clydesdale20, all caps, Clydesdale20, you can get 20% off your order. Just go to upbeforeyou.com and order your coffee. It's delicious. You'll love it. Well, you know, there's been a big change in CrossFit with Eric Rosa and all that. And I'm kind of going off script here, but
that's fine.
But you're part of the change because you were named the country manager for Canada.
Yeah.
And so you're now kind of a part of that new regime. And how do you feel it's going? Do you think we're heading in the right direction?
Absolutely. Yeah. So, lot of changes in 2020, a lot of tough months for affiliate owners, but the leadership change was huge, but it's also just there's a revivement in the community. Like, people are excited again for CrossFit. That's what I truly believe and feel. But I was excited about this change even before being the country manager. Obviously, like, we were on board with everything, all the new changes as an affiliate and as staff members, obviously, because myself, Pete, and Rez are all on staff and we do the seminars. But there's a lot of really good things coming down the pipeline, and the general increase in communication between the affiliates and home office is huge. We don't want any affiliates to feel alone anymore, and that's why the international focus, where just because you're not in the U.S. doesn't mean that you're not going to feel some love from CrossFit. I think that's huge as well, and we see that in the communities in France and UK that are still growing. And they've had country managers for 2-3 years now, and the numbers in terms of increase in affiliates and seminars are just huge. So that international focus is huge. That was kind of number one when Rosa came on. So just being able to have our own voice and identity in Canada is going to help. But yeah, we're super excited for what's coming.
I heard you say a couple months ago that your goal as manager of Canada is to get your boots on the ground and get to as many affiliates as you can. And that may mean forming a team. I think you'd said that like in December. Are you closer to that, or is Canada still kind of on lockdown where you're stuck just kind of in limbo?
For the traveling piece, I am closer to that for sure. To make a team, I've hired one person already. Her name's Karianne Métis. She's in Montreal, and she's helping out with some social media and also customer relations. So reaching out to affiliates and just, again, increasing the means of communication between the affiliates and us. But definitely, like, boots on the ground. Like, I want to go and meet as many affiliates as I can. I want to go to the West Coast and visit Vancouver. There's a huge community of affiliates in Vancouver that is not necessarily known for us who are on this side of the country. And definitely I want to go and try and meet as many as I can. Right now I'm on the phone with a lot of them. So, and doing a lot of Zooms, obviously. I set out to try and speak with every single affiliate in Canada within the first year. And honestly, I think it'll be done, because in the first month or two, I'm already speaking to a lot of them. So that won't be that bad. But boots on the ground for sure, and building a team for that. I'll probably wait a little bit longer for that, because I want to do most of this work myself, and I want the affiliates to see me, and I want to be, as submerged as possible in the community before delegating that. But definitely that's part of the plan.
And I just kind of lost my train of thought there, but
it's all right.
I have so much to ask about this.
Yeah, I was going to ask Paul. I mean, you've got a lot on your plate, right? You're running an affiliate in the middle of the pandemic. You're part of seminar staff. You are still potentially an athlete in this sport. You're about to have your 4th child. You're, the country manager. Like, where are your priorities right now, and sort of what are some of the things they're going to have to maybe give just a little so that you can, be successful in everything?
That's a good question. So in terms of the priorities, number one is family all the time. So that's obviously number one. And so my tasks at the gym are just going to go down a little bit. And I've talked to the guys about that, and we figured out a way to make that happen. And I'm just coaching a little bit less at the affiliate. And you know, they're running a great ship over there, Pete and Rez, and they're manning the affiliate side of things. So on that point, I'm not too worried. And I guess what's going to give is the athlete side. But that's all right. That was happening anyways. So I'm obviously not at the level that I used to be, and I still kind of want to compete on some level, and I want to still do the open as best I can. But I'm not aspiring to go to the CrossFit Games anymore. That's done. And it's good timing. It's good timing with this increased role that's increased my time in front of a computer, sitting down, talking to people, and less in the garage working out or doing intervals late at night. But yeah, I'm totally fine with that. I get up in the morning, I get my workout in, and then I can go on with my day. But yeah, lots on the plate, but I mean, it's manageable. I truly believe that everybody's super busy. So to think that you're the only one that's busy out there, everybody's managing family, work, hobbies, and friends. So I just do like everybody else does.
I've got my train of thought back. It was the three pillars of CrossFit, and that is the athlete side, the affiliate side, and the training side. And you have been a part of all three of those. And there have been times in CrossFit's history that those have kind of gotten out of balance at the headquarter level. Do you think we're heading in the right direction? And do you think that gives you an advantage as the manager?
I think it definitely plays in my favor that I've been part of all three pillars. I don't necessarily agree that it's been lost at the home office side or the HQ, what we used to call HQ. But the perception from the affiliates and athletes maybe was that, but the message in CrossFit has always been the same. It's always been, constantly varied, functional movement, executed high intensity, and that's the message at the seminar, and the message at the affiliate is that CrossFit is for absolutely everybody, and then the message for the sport is like, hey, we're trying to find the fittest person on earth. So that whole message, I think, has always been the same. The difference is the marketing that went around that. I truly believe that the marketing that was around the games was phenomenal. It still is. Like, what the games mean for affiliates, I truly believe that it brings more people to our gyms than not. So I don't believe in the whole this is intimidating stuff. It's the epitome of our sport, and it's the epitome of fitness. So we have to showcase it, and it has to be on the forefront. But that doesn't mean that the other side is let go, right? Like, we still have to show that CrossFit is for everybody. So having those three aspects, being an affiliate owner, being in the games, and being part of the training team on the education side, definitely helps. It helps me kind of understand how the three pillars can work together, or I at least have a view of the pillars and see how they can work together better. But it's been a fun challenge so far, trying to get that going in Canada.
And so one of those pillars is training, and we didn't mention yet that you are CrossFit seminar staff. Are you still currently on staff?
Yes, sir. I actually have my first seminar in a very, very long time next weekend here in Ottawa. But yeah, I'm still on staff.
Cool. Yeah, and how long have you been on staff?
Since 2015. I interned in 2014. I was officially in 2015. This year's been tough. We've had to reschedule, obviously. CrossFit's been insane at pivoting to the online format. The online level one is amazing. And it's paired up with a webinar with a trainer for 4 hours. Like, that's the way that was rolled out was phenomenal. Obviously, the in-person seminars are always going to be a little bit more special, and we're super happy to be able to get back to that. the online seminar is really sweet. But yeah, I'm still on staff. When I got this position, I didn't, my plan was not to stop giving seminars. I think that's part of the boots on the ground, and that's part of living the lifestyle and showing and leading by example. So there's a lot of the country managers around the world who are who wear the red shirts on weekends, and I think it adds a lot of value and credibility to the role. So I'm not losing that. And it's just, it's the funnel into the affiliates, and it's the beauty into meeting everybody who wants to do what I did, at the beginning of all of this. Go do your level 1 and then open up an affiliate and feed that passion for fitness and others. And I don't want to stop doing that. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, do you have a favorite lecture?
Favorite lecture? What is CrossFit is pretty awesome. That's a great one to give. I actually don't even give all the lectures yet. I'm still missing technique and what is fitness. But my favorite lecture to watch, not necessarily to give, is what is CrossFit. It's the start of the weekend. It's hello. You guys are all here. Everyone's a little nervous, but let us tell you why we're here and what everyone in the world is talking about. So that's a super fun one, and it's one where the flair of the presenter can really come out, and the personal stories and hearing about how they started into CrossFit and relating the material to personal experience. I feel like that's always one that I really enjoy watching, not necessarily giving. It's really cool.
Yeah, I took the recert in December online, and the 4-hour webinar is intense.
Yeah, who'd you do it with?
It was a guy out of Dubai.
Okay, yeah, Simon Jones.
Yeah, Simon, that's who it was.
Cool, nice.
Yeah,
isn't that cool? Like you would never get to do a seminar with someone in Dubai.
No,
that's the cool portion too. It's like we've gotten very local with our seminar staff, that everyone in Canada has been given the seminar by either Matt Dubrek or Jason McDonald in the last 10 years, right? So it's kind of this online format is unique as well. Like you could just be on a seminar with someone in Dubai, someone in Africa, and the trainer is in Belgium. So it's been that aspect's been cool. So it was a good experience for you?
It was. The class consisted of 5 different countries represented. But the only thing, I was so sore doing all those movements in 4 hours as opposed to over 2 days.
Right.
But other than that, it was a great experience.
You didn't have to do the thruster workout though. So
right.
True.
Yeah.
Small
True.
miracle.
Did that on the initial back in 15. But yeah.
That's cool. So you didn't feel like doing your level 2?
I did, but I actually suffered some injuries this year, so the online was just the best way to kind of keep certified.
And your
That's
levels
perfect.
getting canceled, didn't it? You had a couple that were scheduled and then got pushed back, and then you ran out of time. So
it got canceled 3 times, and then I was just like, we'll just.
What a disaster! Yeah, the training team, the booking, the team that takes care of booking and all that, they've been phenomenal and working so hard at trying to get these seminars to go. It's been crazy.
So I want to kind of hit some highlights, and that is a highlight for me. I've been a fan of you forever, because the name of this podcast is the Clydesdale Fitness and Friends, and you're like the original Clydesdale of CrossFit.
Okay.
Right. Little taller, little bigger.
Yeah.
And so Reykjavik in the sanctional season, when you hit that snatch, what was it? 308?
308. Yes, sir. Yeah. 308. That was, the whole Reykjavik, the whole Iceland trip was amazing. That was great. That was a great memory of 2019, and I'm really happy I did that. They did a really good job with that that sanctional. But 308, I remember the format of it was it made that we had a lot of time to we had a lot of reps leading up to it. I think we were going up 10 pounds every time or something like that. And then at some point you can kind of just shoot for the stars. And, I remember, I think I hit 290 something, and I'm like, hey, this feels good. Let's go for it. And then after, I just went way too big with my kilos and pounds. I messed that up, and I went for 320 or 319, and I just didn't get it. But that was a cool moment. That was a PR for me. Yeah, 308, big snatch.
Well, and the best part was they did a behind the scenes in there, and you and I think Tim Paulson are kind of chatting back behind about before and after the event, and that was one of my favorite moments.
Yeah, Tim hit a PR as well that day. He was all fired up about it, and I keep seeing that clip whenever they talk about Iceland. They see that clip of him like going crazy after his snatch, and I just like reminding him, like, yeah, well, I mean, I hit a 308 right before you, that match celebration. So
you got to work on your PR dance. Apparently, it's not camera friendly.
Yeah, I was just
The other highlight I have is the team series. You know, the Reebok, was it Classics that you did with Stacey Emily and Ben Smith, and you guys won that.
Yeah, that was super fun, and I got lucky there to get invited to be on that team because Scott Panchek was on the team the year before, and I don't quite remember why, but he couldn't do it that year. So I got hooked up with them, and I flew to CrossFit Krypton, and that was really cool. That was 2 different times. So that was when the team series, which was a super cool event, was 2 weekends, right? So we did one at Krypton, and then we did one at Emily Bridger's gym in Atlanta. We just went for it. We had some good chemistry, and we ended up winning, which was super cool. Yeah, that was definitely a highlight.
Yeah, and then the last one I have just to kind of talk about is the Invitational. You've brought it up a little bit, and I thought that was one of the coolest events in CrossFit. And do you see the potential of them ever bringing that back?
Yeah, I think there's potential. I really honestly have no idea where they're at with that. I don't know if they want to bring it back or not. I know there's going to be some off-season events that are really, really cool, and I don't know if the Invitational is part of that. But I always say that experience for me, still to this day, is my favorite in the CrossFit world. Like being able to represent your country. I mean, from a young age, you always want to put that Team Canada jersey on if you're a hockey player. So that was my little moment of putting the Team Canada jersey on. And it was just, it was really cool. I was still fairly new on the scene, so I didn't really know any of the other competitors that much. It was after the games, but I was a rookie at the games, and I was in the first heat, so I didn't really mingle with the top guys because I was at the bottom and didn't know too many people yet. So it was super special, and I got to do it with Cammie and Michelle and Lucas, and Camille was coming off winning the games, right? So she was, and Michelle was 4th that year. So our girls were 1 and 4. And then I finished 31st at the games, and Lucas dropped out because of a heat stroke. So I remember it was cool because all the attention was on the girls, and I was okay with that for now because I was still new to it. So I'm like, hey, let's focus on the girls. But it was really special because they were obviously at the top of their game back then. So we were so close to winning. I still think about that all the time.
Well, and the epic lifts with you and Lucas against Jason and Rich, and you hit that big clean.
Yeah, that was really cool. They still show that clip every once in a while. Do you see behind me? See that?
Mm-hmm.
So that was a present that year for my birthday. My wife got Sarah got the picture from the website or something. She sent it to one of her friends who's an artist, and that's a painting back there, and that's me with the 365 over my head.
Love it.
Yeah, and it's that was a cool moment. Definitely, that was fun. I really wish that Jason hit that lift. If he hit that lift, it would have made me go for maybe 380 or 385. So. But he didn't, so we called it there.
Yeah, that was just epic. So you said that competing is going to have to take a little bit of a back seat with everything you have on your plate. And I heard you kind of talk about that, like your kids are young and they want to play with dad, and that's really more important than getting a workout in these days. Can you just expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. I think about that all the time. I'm at the point where I want to work out when I'm not disturbing anyone else, or if I'm not taking it away from anything else. So I want to work out when my work is done. I want to work out when my kids are sleeping, even though it doesn't always happen. Obviously, I'll work out sometimes when they're up, but I always have this feeling that if I could be helping Sarah with the kids inside, I shouldn't be in the garage hitting intervals. Like, to me, that's just not worth it anymore. And the example, I think what you're talking about is over the Christmas break, there was a rink on the river here, and I was taking the boys skating almost every day. And one day I had planned to work out in the afternoon, and then at some point the boys were like, "Can we go skating?" Or Felix asked me if we could go skating, and then Sarah's like, "Well, you wanted to work out. Like, do you want me to go instead?" And I'm like, "No, like, there's no way that I'm going to decide to work out instead of going skating with my boys right now." So yeah, that's been honestly kind of the battle, because obviously working out in the morning is not ideal for my fitness, but it's where my head is completely clear. Like, there's literally nothing else that I could be doing right now, so I can focus on just working out and feeling good about it, as opposed to hearing Sarah scream at the kids inside while I'm trying to work out. Like, that doesn't make sense to me, so I should be inside helping.
Yeah,
but you
I
are
remember,
Oh, go ahead.
I remember when I started CrossFit, it was the 5 a.m. was sort of my only option, because I was telling people nobody needs me at 5 a.m. I had two smaller kids at the time and a husband, and it's just like 5 a.m. is your time,
Yeah.
get it done.
And you what it did for you as a mom was probably huge too, right? Like, it just, when your kids get up, there's something, if I don't work out in the morning and the kids get up at the same time as me, it takes me some time to like get it going, but if my workout is done when the kids get up, I'm ready to go, right? Okay. It's on. But and that's why the 6 a.m. at the gym is just full of young parents. I don't know about you guys, but our 6 a.m. at the gym is full of young parents. They have to come in, they get it done, and then they go and either go to work or go back home to their families. It's that's why it's the busiest class. Like, when people
we have couples that someone will come to the 5 a.m. and they'll literally like tag team. The spouse will come to the 6 a.m. The kids are home by themselves for like 2 seconds, while people are driving back and forth, and it works for them.
Yeah, that's huge. For sure. Like the morning workout, that's what I always tell people. It's like, it's not ideal, and waking up doesn't get easier. It doesn't. Like, I still don't, like, I woke up this morning, I'm like, I don't want to get up, but I just always remind myself that how good you feel after. That's literally it. You feel amazing after, so just get up and do it. Nobody needs you right now. You shouldn't be sleeping.
And so I know you're signed up for the Open.
Yes, sir.
And your competitive nature probably won't let you just kind of cruise through it.
Oh, yeah. I know where you're going with this. Yeah, keep going.
So if you would make the quarterfinals or the semifinals, would you continue on?
I literally talked to Sarah about this like 2 days ago. I'm like, I don't know. Should I do the semifinal if I qualify? She's like, yes, you should. I'm like, but part of me is like, I just feel like I would need to put more time into it to really do it for real, and I just don't feel like it. That's another thing. Is like, I still love to compete, and I still want to compete. Like, I still have a desire to be out there and throw down with Pete and the Pat Vellners, I still have that desire. I just don't have the desire to put a lot of extra work in.
Right.
And it's true. Like, I just don't feel like beating myself up by myself, grinding like I did for the last, several years. So we'll see where it goes. I'll do the open with the training regime that I have right now. And if I qualify for the quarterfinals, maybe I'll crank up the training a little bit and give Pete a run for his money at NCR. And then if I qualify for the semifinal, then I'll make the decision then. But I want to, depending on where the semifinals are, if there is one in Canada, I want to organize a big affiliate gathering and get as many affiliate owners as I can over there to kind of hit two birds with one stone. So I don't know if that's going to be possible if I'm competing, or I just compete and in between I just go and do the events with the affiliate owners. We'll see.
Awesome. Well, we want to hit you with a couple rapid fire, just a handful of rapid fire questions to kind of end the show. And the first question is, what is your favorite Nano ever?
Oh, that's a good question. My favorite Nano ever would be the 2. I'll say the 2, and it has nothing to do with performance. It's just the shoes that I got in 2012 at the CrossFit Games. It was like the first shoe that I got for free, and I just wore the shit out of them. I was very, very proud of that shoe as a Games athlete on the team. So the Nano 2.
I love it. So you've probably already done this before, but if you had to share a hotel room with either Austin or James, who would you prefer?
Oh, wow. I've shared a hotel room with both of them. Who would I prefer? Probably James, because if I'm in a hotel room, I'm just laid back. In Austin, you cannot be laid back with Austin. Like, it's just, he'll probably just wake me up at 4 a.m. on his computer, typing away, working away. I feel like if I'm in a hotel room and I'm in vacation mode, I'm with James. Okay. There's no vacation mode with Austin. Guy's nonstop.
He's always fired up.
Yeah, exactly. And James got that switch. We can have a lot of fun and we can be very serious.
All right. So the next one is, what is the one Games WOD you wish you had a crack at?
The CrossFit Total.
I'm not total.
Yeah, I would have loved to take a run at that one. That was in 2018, maybe 20.
And then this year.
20. Oh yeah, they did it again this year. That's right. Yeah, that one I would love a crack at it. And every single year that Dave programs some sort of speed ladder or increasing snatch or clean ladder, and then he has me test it, and I do really well in it because I enjoy that stuff. And then I see it at the games and I'm like, but
I got to see in person your clean and jerk ladder at the Granite Games in 2019.
Oh yeah.
That was a technical win, right? You did win that event.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I saw it. That was legit. Yeah.
That was the first time that I really not complained, but I guess complained, because after I watched the video and I'm like, come on, like that's a win. And then I was at the dinner and I'm like, I'm not gonna, whatever. Who cares? I'll have the weekend. It's not gonna change my life. And my wife Sarah was like, no, you are calling the owner. We're gonna get that reviewed. And then it happened. But yeah, I love that stuff. The speed, fast, heavy weights. It's like, I really feel like in CrossFit, you never see that anywhere else in sport, where it's like heavy technical lifts as fast as possible. There's no staring at the barbell, setting up your hands as best you can. It's like, you got to be so surgical with where your hands are every time you walk up to the bar. There's no stomping your feet on the ground. As soon as your feet hit the ground, your hands are on the bar. You pick up the bar right away. So I love that stuff. And when Dave introduced that in like 2014, I think that was the first speed ladder. I was like, this is cool. Like, this makes for a great show for fans.
Yeah, that Absolutely. Would drive Lucas nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lucas has to do like the whole shimmy and the shake before every lift.
Yeah, I mean that type of lifting has he's had to change his style because of that, and he's so methodical that now that he's changed his style, like now he's so good at that exact thing of just walking up to the barbell and picking it up. because he knows exactly where his hands are every single time. Like, I'll just run up to a barbell. My hands are completely off centered. I don't give a shit. Just throw it up in the air, you know, but I don't really practice it, but yeah.
Felix is your oldest, right?
Correct.
So if someone were to ask Felix, what does your dad do for a living? What do you think his answer would be?
He works out.
He works out. And what would you want his answer to be as he gets older and sort of has to explain to folks what you do for a living? What would you want him to understand that you do?
He already says, I'm kidding. He says he coaches. Like, my dad's a coach. Because Felix was really lucky that he got to spend a lot of time at the gym at the beginning, like, of his life. And it's not the same for the other two, which for me, I find that disappointing. Obviously COVID sucked and everything, but one of the major things was George didn't get to grow up in the gym like Felix did. Like, Felix walks into the gym and he talks to everybody, he knows everybody. It was his gym. It was really cool to watch him grow up there and get really good with, staying out of the way when people were working out, or, he was just really, really good at the gym. And George didn't get to experience that. And Sienna, I don't know if she will, because, no kids at the gym and it's different, but he definitely saw me coach a lot. And really early on, he would, like, while I was coaching, if he was in the corner and I would be like, hey, we're going to go down for a squat and go. I could hear his little voice, like, on the side, like, and go. Like, it was really cute. So he definitely knows I'm a coach. What would I want him to say? That's fine for now. Coach, CrossFit, teaches fitness. He changes lives, who knows? Yeah, we'll leave it at that.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, that's all the questions I have for you, Paul. We're right up on the hour right now. And I really thank you so much for your time. This has been a great conversation. No problem. And to be honest, like, it kind of caught me off guard. I sort of forgot what the podcast was. There's a lot going on, a lot on the calendar, but no, thanks a lot for having me. I really appreciate it. No problem. The pleasure was ours. Okay. Thank you.
Take care.
All right.